down, and we want to give you a little background about our community, and want to hear a little bit about yourself to educate us.
I have no regard for politicians who show up at election time, they parachute in, and they say they're gonna be coming back and make promises, and then all of a sudden, they disappear. I've been an elected official for 20 years, and if you ask anyone that I've had the honor to represent, whether I was on a town council, or I ran for local office to try and preserve the character of my community, something I know all of you fight for. I lived in an area outside of Buffalo that was being pressured by big box stores, Walmarts, and all those stores might have been, and it was gonna hurt our little community. So I decided I could do much more for my residents if I decided to stop going to the town council meetings and fighting everybody and actually running for office myself. I didn't expect to end up in elected office, but sometimes there's a passion that's triggered in you and you feel you need to step up and fight for what you believe in. So I was a town councilor for 14 years. So I have a lot of experience balancing municipal budgets, fixing roads and sewers and potholes and recreation programs, senior programs, and really issues that affect the quality of life of communities. So, and I've also used to fight against unfunded mandates out of Albany all the time, so I know what it's like to be on the receiving end. If you're a municipality trying to make ends meet, when Albany puts a lot on your back as well. So I'll be able to bring that local government perspective to the position as well. I was asked by Elliot Spitzer he appointed me to be county clerk in our area. Different role than the county clerks play here, because we also ran the DMVs, which does not always make you popular because people don't like the DMV. But I was able to use my knowledge about business and bring in practices about how to run an operation that's much more customer friendly. And a lot of people supported me for other offices because I changed the whole culture of an institution like the DMV. And I can give more details how we did that later, but it was a real turnaround. And then I had the opportunity to run for Congress. As you probably figured out, I'm a Democrat. And outside of Buffalo, a couple of years ago, we had an opening for Congress when a local Republican member of Congress took his shirt off on Craigslist and got in a little bit of trouble. So I don't recommend that for long-term career planning in politics. So he left very quickly, and that's all I'll say about it. But there was an opening, and people just said not to run. They said, you're never going to win. You know, no Democrat has held that seat in those particular lines, and so don't even bother. Sometimes I just do crazy things. I had something in my head that said if I fought hard and showed people that, that there's a lot of shared values between Democrats and Republicans and what we fight for, I might have a chance. So I stepped up and ran in what was a 3-month election. And at the time that was going on, the first Tea Party budget came out of Washington. And one of the issues that they were going to, they promoted was the change in Medicare. And I had a lot of seniors in my district. And the idea that you would change the Medicare program into a voucher program and fundamentally change the guarantee of Medicare forever, I just will let that happen. So that became really a center point of our campaign, and our campaign went national because I was the first person running for office as a Democrat after the Tea Party had taken over in the Republican Congress. So I was sort of thrown into this other arena that was unexpected, and somehow we just fought hard, and I was able to get Republicans to vote for me, and Democrats and independents, and was able to win an upset election in 2011. So I served in Congress, and it was such an honor. It really, truly was the highest honor of my life to be able to represent part of my district, part of my community in Congress. And what happened was I got very close to the president, and I supported the Affordable Care Act, which was not a popular issue in my district. And if you saw the ads that were run against me when I was running for re-election 18 years later, the pictures that the president had taken of us when we were in the Rose Garden together actually became, and I was proud of those pictures, they became the cornerstone of the Republican campaign against me that showed that in a district that was very Republican, they didn't want a Democrat who actually had a relationship with the president and who fought for health care and believed in education and social programs and giving people the dignity of a living wage. So I had core Democratic values, but I lost the election by just a little less than 2%. The president lost by about 14%, so it was not a very friendly area for Democrats. But I'll tell you what I took from that. I took from that continued passion for public service, which it's a calling to me. It really is a calling. It's not a job, and I'm in a place I never thought I'd have the privilege to be in. And earlier in life, I just started sort of toward the end, but earlier I was also an attorney on Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan's staff. He hired me in Washington. And what a privilege it was to work for such a statesman. And I have to say it was disappointing having had the experience working on major immigration reform with the senator and major initiatives where I saw Democrats and Republicans truly come together and vote in the best interest of the country. We had tax reform done in '86, and campaign finance reform was worked on, and a lot of other initiatives. And then fast forward to my time in Congress, something broke down. And it was really hard because I love this country so much. And to see that people somehow were unable to actually talk to people on the other side of the aisle and find some common ground is very foreign to me as someone who's much more collaborative and believes in bringing people together. There's one issue that I stood very strong on, and that was my support of Israel. And you should know that because I only had a tiny part of my population which was Jewish, and those people were very close to me. And AIPAC came in from all over the country and tried to help me get elected, and they helped me run ads, and they fought with me, and they got me in Washington. And one of my biggest disappointments was I was preparing to take a trip to Israel, because I said, I need to go there. And my husband really wanted to go too. We were planning on this trip. I said, but I have to get this through my first re-election in 2012, and right after we'll go together if I'm successful. I didn't make it. And they were so wonderful afterward, calling me saying, we want to keep you close to the community, because I took some votes that, most of my district didn't support. And I just thought, we're a democracy. Here we have one of our closest allies trying to retain the same values and the same form of government that we believe in a much more hostile area. And they deserve our support. And that's why when I was asked by the governor to be his running mate, and I knew that what was particularly the additional pressures and the strikes that's going on in Israel now, some people are walking from our friends. The governor taking that trip over there was an amazing statement to me. And I thought, this reconfirms to me the kind of person I'm going to be working as a partner in government with, someone who will stand with our friends through thick and thin. Loyalty is important to both of us. And there's other issues that I've worked on all my life, and education is so important to this community, I know, because we're passing on a heritage here, and we want to make sure that that's preserved, that our young people get the absolute best education possible. And perhaps there's ways that can be helpful at the state government level with education investment tax credits that relieve some of the burden, because I know as someone who put together a lot of budgets that when children are taught in yeshiva, that's money that's not being spent to educate them in public school. We've figured it out. And so to me, there's something that's got to give here, because you're taking, so not just educating them, but giving them enlightenment and sharing values with them that they're going to hold for the rest of their lives and pass on to their children. And that's why what we have here in Brooklyn is so worth preserving. And people are always concerned, like I said, you're going to come by and you're going to just say hello and never see them again. I'm not like that. Even when I had such a Republican district, I always showed up at all the little diners, the restaurants, the shops, and not only had they never seen a congressman in these settings before, they never saw a Democrat in these settings. But I believe that if someone honors me with their vote, there's a bond that's created. A bond that isn't just a one-way street. That I owe to them my presence, my ears, and my voice. And that when I can be an advocate for them in any way I can, I will do that. And that's what I'm offering to you today. Coming with a first hello, but also really wanting you to understand that this is not the last time, because it's not who I am. I wouldn't do that. I would not take our relationship for granted like that. So the governor will be also, he's also sending me out to be an ambassador on his behalf, because, as I said, there's a lot of territory to cover, but what I'm doing right now is what I love best about this. My opportunity to go into places I never would have been. Again, I'm from Buffalo. My parents started in a trailer. Very humble beginnings. My parents, children of immigrants themselves, and life was tough in the early days, but it was an education that my father got at night when he worked at the Bethlehem steel plant that allowed him to get the skills he needed to move into another field altogether and actually end up being a very successful businessman. So I appreciate those challenges and the diversity of a place like Brooklyn, where you have people from all faiths and all backgrounds sort of blending all together. And this is really, it's an amazing slice of America right here. And there's a lot of pressure on with all the gentrification, and depending on your point of view, I still believe that it is something that has to be treasured and protected. And that's a culture, that's a heritage that all of you continue to pass on. And I want to be your ally as you continue down that path. But I have a lot more to learn from all of you. I need to know about the communities through your eyes. And only then will I become the most effective partner to end homo in Albany. So I humbly ask for your support. And I say I need your support. This has been a very tough election. And people who are not accustomed to someone who represents their district the way I did, I'm getting knocked around the media a little bit. But when I went to Congress, Nancy Pelosi told me, she said, never forget your title. Your title is U.S. Representative. You represent your district. And now to have the opportunity to represent the entire state and all its diversity and all of its wonderness, I'm going to be the best representative I can for the entire state of New York. Thank you.
When I first ran, I had very few endorsements. I was the underdog, and you were the underdog too. And it's not the political endorsements or the fancy endorsements that's going to get you elected. It's the centerpiece of this community, and it's not me as an elected official. It's the people in this room who work hard every day, who get the message out, who care about every day's struggle, what life brings, and it's the people, the Shimon Lefkowitzes, the Josh Melmans, the Hospital Bennetts. I heard you last night on the radio, and you did very well, and the message was very clear. And I'm also on the committee, on the chair of the Committee on Non-Public Schools in the City Council, and your take and your view on non-public schools is very important to me as the chair of the Non-Public Schools Committee in the City Council, and it's very important to this community, so.
Elected officials love applause. Do it again.